Hello, beautiful souls. So, wanted to share a little of what's going on with me as I'm sitting here in a very vulnerable um, space. Not sure if I'm going to share this, but feel like I need to make this video now in the moment. So, I was on the receiving end of some rejection today. I had put myself out there with this guy, mainly just to be friends. But I really had this feeling like, well, first time I heard his voice, I was like, oh man, who is this guy? You know, it's like, okay, this is somebody. This is something. This is somebody important. I don't know for what. So I think that was more than a month ago. I won't go into details of what he is to me, but let's just say there's a power dynamic here that's interesting, and I've never encountered this before. So I've asked him to do a few things over the last month, just as friends. We've spent a lot of time talking, hours and hours and hours of talking, but not really like scheduled. So like it just so happens, that I'm there or at his house, or he happens to be over here or whatever. So anyway, I reached out and I said, "Hey, let's go do something, or come on over. Let's have some food. Let's have a fire. Let's talk." And he said, "Yeah." And then I reached out again earlier today just to confirm. And he said no, that he was in the middle of doing something and he was going to finish and he wanted alone time. And don't get me wrong, I've been there before where I have had plans and wanted to cancel for alone time. But I'm just going to tell you guys that being on the receiving end of that from a friend or from whoever doesn't feel good. So I knew I was triggered, and I knew that my being triggered was bigger than the situation I was in. Do you know what I mean? Because normally I'm like, oh, yeah, no biggie. Yeah, I'm bummed. I mean, this has happened a few times over the last year, and I've been like, oh man, that sucks. I'm disappointed. But I get it, and I'll figure something else out. But this hit a little bit different. And so it reminds me, of rejection, that I felt in my life. And not just rejection, almost a betrayal. And that's not what happened. Do you get me? That's not what happened today. This is not about today. This is older. Things that are coming up to be seen, finished, closed out. So I find myself with a free evening, and I'm going to be going into ceremony to close out weird courting from the past. This is one of those times where, this being triggered isn't about now. It's like leading me with breadcrumbs to something bigger within me that I can look at, that is honestly begging to be closed. So that's what I'm doing with the equinox fire. I'm going to give it all to the fire. There's some cords that need to go that I thought were gone, and they're not. There's some ceremony that needs to happen as I free myself from the past in order to move forward in my life. And yes, I do also feel like this is another one of those lessons about settling. I mean, we'll see. We'll see after I undo what has been done. And then maybe perhaps I will not be encountering quite so many Mr. Almost Rights. Mr. Almost energy match, but I would still be settling. Yeah, this is really an interesting day. This energy is really strong. And as usual, I'm being asked to be flexible. Everything is changing. What was actually planned, none of that pretty much has happened, except for going to my daughter's basketball party. And I have self-care plans tomorrow, and I sure hope that those don't fall through. But with the way that I've been seeing things going down, it's like, Sally, be flexible. Sometimes shit happens and everything goes sideways. And what are you going to do? Really? Now I'm finding myself with a whole night full of cutting cords, going into ceremony, sitting at the fire, probably journeying. Right before equinox. It's beautiful that this is happening now. So does it feel good to be rejected? No, it does not. Does it feel very friendly? No. Am I going to reach out and ask this guy to do more stuff? Right now, the answer is no. If he asked me, I probably would. I'm not into forcing anything. No more forcing. If I want something, if I feel like it is in resonance with me, I will make a move, but I'm not going to continue to push and push and push. You know, if it is in resonance with me, it will flow to me once I take that initial action. And like with this time, I think this is the third time that I asked him to do something. So I'm like, You know, it really is. If you have to try so hard, push so hard, maybe it's not for you. Maybe it's not for me. Or maybe it's not for me right now. Maybe, like what I'm discovering since this all happened a little bit ago, is that it's not happening for me right now because there's something I got to take care of first. Love you guys.